Hello, good morning. I request all of you to please put your cameras on. Good morning, Ludmila ma'am.
Good morning, nice to see you.
Same here, ma'am. How are you doing?
Thank you, I'm okay.
Could we please have your brief introduction?
Yeah, so my name is Lyudmila Gryzun. I'm a full professor of National University of Economics from Kharkiv City, Ukraine. And I'm a full professor of Information Systems Department. And the focus of my research activity is IT, information and communication technologies for education, their benefits, and so on. Yeah. And we are training the IT, pre-service IT specialists for our national economy.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your introduction.
Yeah, and also I'm happy to say that I'm a president of Science Technology Research Organization of Eurasia Research. That is a great honor for me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am. Yoshiko Yamaguchi. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, ma'am, please could we have your introduction?
Okay, and my name is Yoshiko Yamaguchi from Japan. So I'm teaching in nursing in the University of Kasui Women's University. So, and my major is nursing and district nurse and visiting nursing. So I'm researching and nurse retention or something and mental health, nurses mental health. So, and today, thank you for giving the opportunity to present our research in a conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. Good morning, ma'am. Agnieszka Lindo Laspeka. Could you please put your camera on? I think there are some glitches. Let's move on to the next. Good morning, Fanjin Zhao.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Could we have your brief introduction, please?
Yeah, I'm Fanjing Zhou. I'm currently a high school student at Newton South High School, which is located in Massachusetts, United States. And I'm looking forward to the meeting presentation today.
Thank you so much, Fanjin. Good morning, ma'am. Agnieszka Lindo.
Good morning. I'm so sorry I'm late.
How are you doing, ma'am?
It's okay, thank you that you asked.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, please could we have your brief introduction?
My name is Agnieszka Milewska. Many thanks for the invitation for this conference. It's nice to be with you. So I'm director of a head person of private primary school. I am also a head of the Faculty of Psychology, private university in Białystok, in Poland. I'm also an expert in the National Ministry of Education. I'm a psychologist.
Okay. We are very pleased to have you over our conference, ma'am. Thank you so much for the introduction.
My pleasure.
Okay. Good morning, Sir Ilan. How are you?
Not too bad. I'm sorry I'm late, but yeah, my flight was delayed and I arrived really late last night.
Okay. So, sir, could we have your introduction, please?
Yeah, I'm a psychologist. I work mainly in private practice. I also teach online at a big university in Australia. Yeah, what else can I say?
Thank you so much, sir. Okay.
You're welcome.
Dr. Kennedy, welcome. How are you doing? Dr. Kennedy, are you able to listen to me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, ma'am.
So can we have you? Same here, sir. Sir, can we have your brief introduction?
Okay. My name is Kennedy, Dr. Kennedy Emeka Olibo. I'm a lecturer in the Department of Clinical Pharmacy and Biopharmaceutics in the University of Science and Tech in Nigeria. I've been in academia for a couple of times now, up to 14 years, 15 years now. I started my career from another university before I changed to Enugu State University of Science and Tech. And incidentally, I happen to be the head of the Department of Clinical Pharmacy and Biopharmaceutics in my university. It's a pleasure being there. I'm a pharmacist by profession, and partly before I entered academia, I was also in the private setting. I own a company, pharmaceutical company, before I entered academia. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Thank you so much for your introduction.
Thanks. You're welcome.
Okay, now let us begin with our today's conference.
Okay.
Welcome to Eurasia Research Online International Conference.
Thank you.
Today we have these many participants who would be participating in our conference. Today we have presentations and participants from 11 countries around the world, that is Spain, Philippines, Poland, Ukraine, France, Japan, Nigeria, Iran, Australia, USA, and India. We are broadcasting this conference on Facebook Live on multiple pages of Eurasia Research. The links for the live sessions are shared in the chat box. Please allow me a moment to introduce you Eurasia Research in a nutshell. Please, with over more than 1 million satisfied members and associates spread across the globe, Eurasia Research is a scholarly association who have been working for nearly a decade. Eurasia Research has organized several successful international conferences, workshops, and training programs at various reputed institutions and grand venues. Eurasia has been tirelessly working for research world and have not stopped their endeavors even during the COVID era, and have presented research community with online platform, which was safe and convenient method to continue their passion. We are an international community of researchers, practitioners, students, and educationists who aim to bring together worldwide researchers and professionals, encourage intellectual development, and to create opportunities for networking and collaboration. These objectives are achieved through academic networking, meetings, conferences, workshops, projects, research publications, academic awards, and scholarships. We provide scholarship to deserving candidates to promote students and research scholars to participate in the international conference. Young Researcher Scholarship is provided in the form of a full registration fee waiver. We have vast experience of publishing papers for more than 7 years. Our associated journals publish original papers, review papers, conceptual framework, analytical and simulation models, case studies, empirical research, technical notes, and book reviews. We cater to more than 30 plus teams in the area of teaching and education and have registered ISSN and have following renowned indexing, that is Google Scholar, Crosscheck, Authenticate, Crossref, the Keeper's Registry, Scribd, Portico, Rode, the directory of open access scholarly resources, OAI PMH registered data provider, PKP index. We will soon be applying for Scoopers too. We have a wide network of 100 plus internationally acclaimed keynote across the globe who share their knowledge and guidance with our participants with open hands. We have a large number of committee members and advisors who support us and guide us through their expert opinions and decision-making capabilities. We couldn't have thought of reaching here without them. We also encourage our participants to connect with more than 15,000 followers on our social media platform where they can share their research and interests, join our Facebook group, and be a part of the discussions by researchers and academicians. We also have several collaborations with universities, colleges, and institutes to better serve all interested and like-minded intellectuals. With great enthusiasm and pride, we would like to announce our latest project, which is the Terra Fellow Program in education. The program offers an opportunity to learn the concepts and latest trends in the teaching industry from the academic stalwarts. We would like to share some of our past participants' experience with you. Thank you for your patience and valuable time. Moving forward with the conference. Hi, I am Abhilasha Sharma, your today's conference host. Let us start with the presentation from our STRA President, Mrs. Dr. Yoshiko Yamaguchi, Home Care Nursing, Faculty of Nursing, Kuwasiwo Women's University, Japan. Let us see her video presentation.
Hello everyone and welcome to Eurasia Research. And this is Yoshiko Yamaguchi from Kasui Women's University, Japan. I'm belonging in the nursing faculty and my major research topic is nurse retention. And especially I focused on a nurse's work-family interface. It contains work-family conflict, work-family enrichment, and work-family balance. This time, I'm being appointed president of Eurasia Research and Healthcare and Biological Science Research Association. I am so proudly to be given this opportunity and to be able to work as a part of such a wonderful international research association. I would like to introduce Eurasia Research as an organization. Eurasia Research is a family of the member 50K around from the 65 countries, and the program has been extremely successful due to the people who are joining with our organization every day. Even during the difficult time of pandemic, we are able to continue online due to the support our participants and members. Also, our members are offered other opportunity international research activity as like acting as a member of editorial review, advertising your research or project, our Facebook or newsletter. Our main effort and focus is encouraging international research networking and provide a platform to researchers to present their research. We really welcome you also, not only you, your colleague and your student, of course your family, and to join us. I insist Eurasia Research could support your research contribution to be more and more expanded in worldwide. We always welcome you joining to our organization.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am Yoshiko Yamaguchi, for such a wonderful presentation and such kind words. Let us move to the next.
Do you know
Next,
top 10 countries for freelancers according to CNBC? I'll tell you. United States has 70% of freelancers. United Kingdom has 59% of freelancers. Brazil has 48% of freelancers. Pakistan.
next, we have the presentation from our eminent speaker, Dr. Ludmila Greisen, PhD and postdoctoral degree in pedagogical science, full professor of Simon Kuznets Kharkiv National University of Economics, Kharkiv, Ukraine. Let us see her video presentation.
Hello to everybody. My name is Ludmila Grzun, and I am happy to greet all the participants of the Science and Technical Research Association. It's a great honor for me to take up the position of the president of association. A few words about myself. I earned master degree in applied mathematics. Also, I earned PhD and postdoctoral degree in pedagogical science. Currently, I'm working as a full professor of Information System Department, Simon Kuznets National University of Economics, Kharkiv City, Ukraine. During the last 3 years, I have been actively working within the association. I was invited as a keynote speaker at different conferences where I shared the results of my research in the sphere of information technologies in education. Science and Technical Research Association aims to bring together worldwide researchers and professionals to encourage intellectual development, to create opportunities for networking and collaboration. These aims are achieved through academic networking, meetings, conferences, workshops, projects, and etc. So I would be happy if the current and new coming members of association and all of us together took the opportunity to go on their investigations, to share their research and the results of their research on the platform of the association, to make our world a better place to live. So see you later in our forthcoming event. Follow up in the sites and in Facebook. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma'am Ludmila, for your wonderful words. Let us move towards, thank you, ma'am. Let us move towards our next eminent speaker, that is Lukas Kodaila, Platforma Biznesu Special IT and R&D Department, Szczecin, Poland. Let us see his video presentation.
My name is Łukasz Chodyła. I graduated with a master's degree in computer science from the West Pomeranian Institute of Technology in Poland. I work as a software engineer and researcher with corporate research teams. My work has mainly involved multimedia systems, digital signage systems, some aircraft-related systems, and before that I also worked with universities on a series of papers about people with disabilities and their interaction with computer devices. And here at the conference, at the last conference, I was presenting the results of my team's work, and in short, it was all about remote process management and window mapping in Linux-based systems.
Okay, good.
it's above all, it's effective. Not only is it safer, but also it's more time and cost effective, right? And it was very great, very lovely to see students on that conference, because 15 years ago or even 10 years ago, when I was a student myself, it was a struggle to get proper financing, to get the funds from universities to pay for accommodation and transportation, right? And now it can be all ruled out and it's eliminated. So yeah, it was great to see that. Yes. On one hand, physical conferences gives you the opportunity to have the side talk, sometimes to network more unofficially. But on the other hand, online conferences are a great opportunity to speak up, to also present your research. If you have no experience, or if you have little experience on that. I know a lot of very talented people who are hesitant to share their results due to different reasons. Yeah, the fact that you can pre-record your presentation before the online presentation, that's very helpful. And my video, my presentation was actually my third take, mostly due to the fact that I'm not English speaker. English isn't my first language. So yes, in my opinion, it's worth at least trying. And I know there are many things going on now in the world, but in that aspect, what a beautiful time to live in. Before the conference, I've got all the answers to my questions that I've asked via the email. So yes, I was very happy, and I want to thank you for all the work you put into organizing these events.
Thank you, Mr. Lucas, for a wonderful presentation and such kind words. Let us move towards the next part of the conference. Next, we have the conference schedule. Session 1 would be keynote talk. Session 2 would be team activity. Session 3 would be technical talk. You have to rename your Zoom account with your full name in English. This will help us to record your presence. You may ask your questions related to the presentation in the chat section while the presentations are going on. All the certificates, receipts, and proceedings will be sent to the participants within a week. Moving ahead with the publication process. The publication process starts once the registration process is complete. The author needs to send the papers, consent forms, and reviewer details on the email ID convener@eurasiaresearch.info. The review reports will be sent to the author once the review process is over. The final stage of publication starts after receiving the revised papers from the authors. Please note that the publication process takes around 50 days after the conference dates, if all the editorial guidelines are followed within the given time. Let us move towards the keynote speaker. Our first keynote speaker for today is Ma'am Anna Sofia Saldana, translator, university lecturer in translation in Universidade Autónoma de Lisboa, mentor and member of the International Mentoring Association and researchers in translation, didactics, and mentoring. PhD student in translation in University of Vigo, Spain. Her topic is mentoring as a science to develop a prolific career. Anna Sofia Saldana, professional translator, university lecturer, and mentor, associate board member of the International Mentoring Association in USA, and member of the Terra Research Group. Interested in mentoring soft skills, training, and continuous professional development for translators, also interested in applying mentoring in other areas of studies, professional development. Let us see her video presentation.
Hello, my dear colleagues. Nice to meet you again virtually. And thank you for being here to watching and listening to my presentation. Unfortunately, we still need to be online, but hopefully soon we will meet in person. So thanks to Eurasia, Dr. Charles, for the invitation once again. It's always a pleasure to be here. And I'm going to share my screen. And today I'm going to talk about mentoring as a science to develop a prolific career. I do research on mentoring. Well, even though it is for translators, mentoring is mentoring. And I always pick a sentence to start my presentations, and I chose this one. The heart of mentoring, getting the most out of life, isn't about how much you keep for yourself, but how much you pour into others. This is mentoring, is to pass your knowledge, to pass your passion, to pass your commitment, to pass hope, to pass, maybe I can say, a future to someone else. And in the end, you will see that mentoring can do all of those things. Now, why mentoring? Why are we talking about mentoring? Or why am I talking about mentoring? Mentoring became an area of interest in the 80s in the United States. Mentoring started to be mainly used in companies, lawyers' firms, agencies, big corporate, to train the newbies, the people who were arriving in the companies, lawyers' firms. But then, after some time, people started to write about it, and you can check names as Kathy Cram, for example, Linda Searby. There are lots of people writing about this specific area. And mentoring then expanded to the academical world, and nowadays is widely used in universities in the United States. It has even specific departments just for mentoring and professional development and orientation, and academics with a high percentage of success. So mentoring is not selling vacuum cleaners. Mentoring is a science, and mentoring works. In Europe, for example, where I live in Portugal, mentoring is not widely used as it should be, because people here usually work with coaching, which is something completely different. And if you are all thinking about why is it different, it is. Coaching is just, you are going to a coaching course, they give you tools, you pay for the course, they give you tools, you use those tools with the gardener, with the doctor, with the engineer, with the cook, with whatever. And mentoring, the tools are not given to you. Either you are a mentor or you are not a mentor. Mentoring is something that comes from inside of you. So you cannot just go to a simple course and have tools and shada, you are a mentor. Now, we all know that there is a gap between the professional world, the academical world. There's a hole, a black hole in the middle. So no one knows what happens in that black hole. So how can we close this gap or this black hole? So sorry for the comparison. With mentoring, that's why I say that mentoring is good for a prolific career, because mentoring is advice, mentoring is experience, professional orientation. People are so lost when they finish their courses, their BAs, MAs, post-graduations, even PhDs. Profile improvement, career leveraging, networking, essential. We all know that networking is essential nowadays, even more after this tragic thing of COVID, okay? Because COVID made us think about other things. And when I say other things, I say this thinking widely beyond our country, our continent. And that's why networking is so important. Personal development, of course. I am a better person because I'm a mentor, and I know that my mentees are better people because of me, also because of some of my influence. And of course, continuing professional development, essential, as we all know. CPD, I've already delivered speeches in Eurasia conferences about CPD. So who would be the mentors? If mentoring shall be used anywhere, mentors, okay? Professional in the area. That's why I said, and I explained the difference between coaching and mentoring. Everyone can be a coach, but not everyone can be a mentor. So from my point of view, a mentor has to be a professional in the area with experience between 3 to 5 years minimum, okay? Professionals who know how to help. I know this sounds ridiculous, but it's true. Have a good sense of humor, essential. Not only because of COVID and all this tragic thing in the world and the war and whatever, but people need humor. People need to laugh, okay? Have an excellent knowledge of the professional world and its evolution. When I say the professional world, the one where the person is inserted and around, okay? Not like this, but like this, like an eagle, okay? Peripheral vision. Can share a message. If you cannot share a message, you are not a mentor. Positive people, okay? If you are a mentor and if you say to your mentees, just forget it, this is tragic, you will be a failure, so quit. This is horrible, we all know. Maybe we have seen people like this, but it's true. Aren't afraid of the future competition. You are helping people, so somewhere in the future you will receive something back, so don't be scared. Important data I want to share with all of you. Okay, I don't want to be boring, so I brought some data. These are data I gathered from mentoring programs I've done, not all of them, of course, I just picked some of them. And you can see that in the first column is the first letters of the names of the people. Second column, academic background, working area. So where were these people working when they went to my mentoring? And if they had any knowledge of the real professional world, okay? In this case, we are talking about people who wanted to be translators, freelance translators, but this could be the same for future engineers, future CEOs, future managers, directors, teachers, you name it. So you can see that the academic background is quite diverse: law, languages and literature, psychology, social service. And where were these people working? In areas, law, first one is a lawyer, secretary, call center, secretary, banking, social service, and teaching. I have nothing against these areas, as you can imagine, but this is not translation. So you can easily understand that these people were quite frustrated because they wanted to be translators, not lawyers, not secretaries, not call centers. So they had any knowledge of the professional world? And the answer is no. Okay, and now just everyone to see what happened after the programs. Same people, mentoring program, 3 months, 1 session per week. And when I say 1 session, Skype, it doesn't have to have a minimum time or a maximum time. I can talk for 3 hours or I can talk for 30 minutes. It depends. Okay. And look at what happened. 4 of those people are translators full-time, so they quit their jobs. 1 of them only part-time and 2 of them not translators at all. Now, you can see what mentoring does. It's like 80%, 75, 80% just change radically their lives. And there are 2 no's, and I know that people like to focus on the no's, so I'll explain why these 2 no's. The first one, it's a girl, RM, and She was starting to have her clients, but she was afraid of not having enough income to survive. So she accepted a full-time job in a company. So that's why she's not a translator. And JS, he's a guy. And when I gathered this data, he was only focused on translating games, video games. And I told him that is not possible. He had to diversify because the gaming industry in Portugal is really small when compared to Brazil, because we are 10 million and they are 200 million. So it's completely different. So no one bets, or tiny percentage, bet on translating games into European Portuguese, mainly into Brazilian Portuguese because of economics. And he said, well, Anna, but I don't want to widen my areas. I want to be a gaming translator. And I said, okay, so if you ever change your mind, let me know. And you know what happened? He changed his mind and he just started to have his own clients. He is still working in social service until he has enough clients to survive with translation. But he opened his mind and he wrote me a message saying, well, Anna, thank you for your advice. And you were right. I opened my mind to different things and now I have work. So if mentoring is used correctly, students know if they are in the correct area of studies. Okay. It avoids frustration and stress, shows the real professional world, is a help for future professionals in their preferred areas, creates the practical side of each area of studies, allows students to have a direct contact with established professionals in the area. The university is closer to the professional practical world, and students are not only numbers. Okay, so that's why since 2015, thank you for your time. I'm going to stop sharing because this is quite boring. And
Thank you, ma'am, Anna Sophia Saldana, for your wonderful presentation as in such kind words. Also, if anybody has any questions, you can always put it in the chat box. The speaker will try to answer you over there. Let us move forward with our next keynote speech. Dr. Ludmila Greisen, PhD and postdoctoral degree in pedagogical science, full professor of Simon Kuznets Kharkiv National University of Economics, Kharkiv, Ukraine. Her topic is Petri nets as a tool for university curriculum modeling. Dr. Ludmila Greisen is a full professor of the Information Systems Department at the National University of Economics, preparing IT specialists for various branches of their economy. Ludmila earned an MA in Applied Mathematics from the State University of Kharkiv, Ukraine, PhD and postdoctoral degree in Pedagogical Science from the National Pedagogical University of Kharkiv. Her sphere of research is focused on the synchronized curriculum and holistic educational content, design in higher education, artificial intelligence, application to pedagogical problem solution, Petri networks apparatus as a tool for modeling and indication, IT tools for inquiry-based and holistic learning, etc. Dr. Ludmila Greisen's recent successful contributions include participation in a regional research group, artificial intelligence and its application to pedagogical diagnostics systems, work as an international expert of the Open European Asian Research Analytics Championship under the program of the International Academy of Sciences and Higher Education, UK, participation in the European Educational Fair for STEM teachers, Science on the Stage, work as a member as a president of the International Organization Scientific and Technical Research Association, that is TRA, presenting the research of her research as a keynote speaker at the number of Eurasia Research international conferences. Professor Greisen is a member of the editorial team of the journal Educational Technology Quarterly. and a reviewer of the Universal Journal of Education. Let us see her video presentation.
Grew around the world oriented because of COVID.
Hello to everybody. I'm happy to greet all the participants of the International Conference on Science and Technology Research. My name is Lyudmila Gryzun. I'm a full professor of Information Systems Department, Simon Kuznets National University of Economics, Kharkiv City, Ukraine. I'm also a president of STRA Association, Eurasia Research. The topic of my keynote presentation is Petri nets as a tool for university curriculum modeling. In terms of self-introduction, I'd like to say that my scientific activity is focused on curriculum design in higher education based on scientific knowledge integration, assessment of pedagogical projects, and some other branches. However, the focus of my scientific activity is coordinated curriculum design in university education based on knowledge penetration. So the topic of my presentation today is not occasional, and I'm going to cover the problems of university courses synchronization, to present the author's approach to the curriculum modeling using Petri nets facilities, and to discuss the benefits of the author approach. So, the problems of university courses synchronization, in fact, are caused by the number of factors which demands the search of new approaches to the curriculum design. In particular, and among these factors, the quick changes and renewing of technologies, social life, situation and employment market, the international students and employees mobility, which leads to the necessity of design of international context of higher education. The growth of information amount, knowledge expansion, renewing of knowledge, losing its urgency very quickly, etc. And definitely the trends of contemporary scientific branches, which are synthesis of knowledge, mutual enrichment, interdisciplinary research with interpenetration of knowledge and cognitive method tools, etc. So all these tendencies must be reflected in the content of training of university students, because global science and employment market demand specialists who are ready to solve integral problems, not a specific one, have flexible system of knowledge, who are able to use knowledge in a related branch and are able to adapt quickly to changes, to retrain, to reorient their qualification, etc. In terms of globalization process and permanent changes in science and industry, building of worldwide curricula is getting really urgent. Its development has expanded the scope of the university disciplines, and it raises the task of preserving the natural links between the disciplines, integrating of the newly appeared disciplines into the existing curriculum, the synchronization of their mastering, etc. In the terms of challenges of specialist training and university curriculum design, it's relevant to mention the position maybe and role of discipline itself and its structure. The matter is that the curriculum discipline, on the one hand, is implementation of certain educational content, and a relevant modular structure of a subject can facilitate the processes of formation of holistic and flexible system of students' knowledge and skills. On the other hand, any curriculum discipline is an embodiment of some scientific branch adapted to teaching and learning. Hence, it must reflect correctly the branch structure, preserving main links between notions, concepts, facts, theories, which really exist both inside the academic branch and between sciences in a whole. It causes challenges of specialist training. For example, if you talk about IT specialist training, so we have to mind that there are important pillars as the guidelines for curriculum building in university education. It has to preserve the concept of computing, for example, throughout the world and in time, as well as to support existing, emerging, and future computing disciplines, both for the today and potential students. It also has to mind future trends and achievements from industry research and the entire spectrum of society. It must be also flexible to the global enduring acceptance and adaptable within multiple educational contexts. Actually, this idea is also true for university curriculum of other specialist training, not only for IT specialists. So the main problems to be solved are how to form integrative content of learning, how to provide modular structure of curriculum disciplines with preserving links between knowledge, and how to provide also the synchronized learning throughout the modules of different curriculum disciplines for preserving specialist training. So it's clear that it's necessary to develop some alternative approaches to curriculum discipline based on some mathematical and digital tools, which are able to, first of all, overcome the exposed problems, to cultivate cross-disciplinary strategies of teaching and learning, and to form students' holistic, coherent, and flexible system of knowledge. So, if to characterize our author's integrative approach to curriculum design, I'd like to say that it is based on the revealed mechanisms of knowledge integration in scientific branches and curriculum design. It provides techniques for discipline structuring, which triggers the integration mechanisms realization, and it results finally in the coordinated system of curriculum disciplines, preserving links between knowledge and making positive impact on the trainees' system of knowledge. The technique of curriculum discipline structuring, which must be done in order to get the modular structure of curriculum subjects, keeping and spreading links between knowledge both inside and module and between modules and subjects of curriculum. It was based on the ideas of the multi-level construction of the content of learning, multi-level knowledge generalization, and using the models of knowledge representations of the artificial intelligence theory. In particular, it was used semantic networks and frame-based systems. Multi-level construction of the content of learning covers 4 core stages, so-called superdiscipline level, the level of curriculum discipline, the level of learning material of the curriculum discipline, and the level of learning activity, when the educational content is implemented into the activity. So at the first stage of the discipline structuring, the so-called superdiscipline content is concentrated as a network of key points defined based on the analysis of the system of professional functions, the structure of the activity, essence of the typical professional tasks. So they include real objects, processes, phenomena which are to be mastered by pre-service specialists. The second stage of the discipline structure, and it is so-called structure level of knowledge generalization. It provides general structure of the subject area and rules of knowledge manipulation. In order to realize it, we elaborated special technique of preliminary analysis of the subject area and revealing the didactic characteristics of academic disciplines. After such an analysis, we could select node learning elements of the subject domain around which we should concentrate learning material at modular structure. Also, we match node learning elements to the key points of the highest level, and these ideas are shown here on the scheme. At the second stage of the discipline structuring, that is the level of curriculum subject, and the hierarchy structure with frames in its nodes is built. Each frame corresponds to the cycles of training, to curriculum subjects, to their modules with learning elements in their nodes. And after that, on the third stage, of knowledge generalization, we fill in all three prototypes of general structure and their slots with exact data, exact values of learning elements, exact inheritance pointers for each slot to provide proper links. Finally, we obtain the coordinated and coherent system of curriculum subjects. And here you can see so common view of this system, and finally we obtain in such a way the system of curriculum subjects based on the frame system and the semantic networks, and all the changes which happen on the superdiscipline level immediately are spread via the learning elements through all the system of modules of all the disciplines. In such a way, we obtained a really sensitive and flexible system. This technique, which I have presented to the discipline structure and coherent curriculum shaping, was implemented and verified. However, in the process of real curriculum building, it became clear that it is necessary to elaborate the issue of the grouping learning elements into the frames, because it's essential to group them, taking into account also the sequence and precedence of their learning within the modules and disciplines. And it will make their mastering not only holistic, but also synchronized. In terms of synchronization, it's important to use relevant mathematical apparatus and relevant instruments. And one of them is Petri nets, which was used as a university courses modeling instrument. Petri net can be defined as a two-part oriented graph where P and T, so places and transitions, are finite, not empty sets of graph vertices, among which there are distinguished two types of vertices: places, which are circles actually, and transitions, which are bars in the net. R component determines a relationship between the vertices corresponding to the arcs. The places also can accommodate tokens that can move around the net via transitions, and in such a way, in fact, we can model the dynamic of processes. The preparatory stage of modules modeling, we distinguished learning elements which are inputs and outputs. Inputs can be interpreted as the learning elements which are necessary for the student to master in order to be able to learn the learning elements of the frame, other learning elements of the frame. In similar way, the outputs can be interpreted regarding the other frames. For inputs and outputs, they will determine the types of precedence relations of the frames. For inputs, they will determine three types of relation: one-to-one, and two more, so-called or precedence relation and end precedence relation. And for the outputs, they will also determine two types of relations: one-to-one and one-to-key elements. Using these precedence relations, we could simulate learning elements, frames composed by learning elements, and finally curriculum disciplines composed by the frames through Petri nets. So here you can see Petri net modeling, so-called basic Petri net modeling for an learning element mastering by the students. Petri net, which simulates a learning mastering by the students, is presented by 4 places and 8 transitions. The places represent the states of learning elements as for their readiness to be learned by students due to their relations precedence. There is also one and only one token in the net, which means that only one of these places can be marked at a time. The transitions simulate the events of start of learning elements mastering, the process of its learning regarding the academic time and its availability due to its precedence relations, and finally accomplishing mastering. And at the next step of modeling such basic Petri net was used to create a frame model, which in fact a course module. It was composed by a set of the models of learning elements connected depending on their precedence relations determined above. This composition was done by merging transition T1, which interprets that this learning element able to start of dependent module, and transition T8 of previous module model. There are 3 situations how to add and how to compose the learning elements to create a frame. And these 3 situations are presented here. There is so-called one-to-one precedence, end-to-one precedence, and one of end-to-one precedence, which interprets as OR operation. And in similar ideas were used for Petri net's modeling of the whole course. The Petri net representations of the 2 modules are presented by common Petri nets after applying the rules presented before, using the net addition operation, considering AND precedence for A variant and OR precedence for B variant. Using the operations of Petri net's modifications, in particular the fusion and learning elements connections of different types depicted above, B would obtain a model of a curriculum discipline module and finally a curriculum discipline model. It's essential to note that output transitions of each learning elements model can trigger the subsequent learning elements model only if the previous, in terms of precedence relation learning element, is accomplished. It is guaranteed by the rules of Petri net execution and modifications. So, as a result, the built Petri nets represent all the evolution of the learning elements mastered by the students in the frames and between them. Petri nets facilities provides grouping learning elements into the frames, which are modules of the discipline, in fact, taking into account precedence of their learning. Frame facilities provide spreading the set links between the learning elements within the module and between the modules in different courses. So such a modeling for shaping the frames, which are modules of the disciplines, provides synchronization of learning elements mastering and at the same time keeping links between them. So, in terms of the benefits of offered approach, I'd like to say that in such a way, we can realize mechanisms of knowledge penetration in the curricular subject. We can optimize sequence and coherence of learning, mind the discipline's evolution and appear new ones with their including into the flexible curriculum, excluding their unnecessary repetition and academic time saving. The obtained curriculum with our simulation is flexible to account both global acceptance and national educational context, etc. Also, such an approach to the curriculum modeling can be used in the software for automatic creation of a holistic and synchronized curriculum, which makes prospects of our research. Such a software will allow to detect which proper learning element and where has to be mastered, to trace the learning elements which have been mastered and will be necessary for mastering other set of learning elements, and to build individual study plan for students, to personalize curriculum, and so on. For university teachers and professors who are potentially going to use such ideas, it allows them to see and realize the place of each learning element in the system of learning elements of the discipline in a whole, and it links with other disciplines via mutual penetration, and hence to select proper methods and techniques of learning, to offer students interdisciplinary problems to solve, to proper special ways of students' activity in order to form their holistic and flexible system of knowledge and skills, and definitely to save academic time, and at the same time to learn each learning element comprehensively with students, deeply, and from the standpoint of various disciplines. So thank you for your attention. I'm ready to answer your questions, and we can contact via my email, for example. Thank you kindly.
Thank you, Dr. Ludmila Greisen, for such an informative presentation.
Thank
Also, if anybody has any questions, you can put it in the chat box. The speaker will try to answer it over there. And I would also request everyone to please put your cameras on. Moving towards the next presentation of the day. Our next keynote speaker for the day is Ma'am Marizan B. Contreras, Associate Professor, College of Engineering, University of Bantagas Hilltop Site, Bantagas City, Philippines. Her topic is Lean Systems for Educational Institutions. Engineer Marizan B. Contreras is a registered professional industrial engineer of a mechanical engineering department of the College of Engineering of the University of Bantagas City, Philippines. She is a full-time associate professor at the College of Engineering and the Graduate School of the University of Bantagas, where she finished her graduate studies in business administration and undergraduate studies in industrial engineering. She has also finished her academic requirements in Doctor of Business Administration at Pamantasan, NG Langsan, Manila, Philippines, where she obtained her MS degree in Management Engineering. Prior to her present designation, she was assigned as the chairperson of Industrial Engineering at the University of Bantagas for 8 years. She is an ISO auditor, ALCU COA accreditor, researcher, advisor, statistician. Different professional organizations, local and international, recognized her scholarly works and vested her with the following awards: Best Presenter at the International Conference on Innovative Research in Engineering and Technology, Outstanding Paper Award recipient at World Conferences in Business and Management 2018, Best Presenter Award at 2019 Second International Conference on Business Economic Law, Language and Psychology, Best Paper Award at 5th Hernando B. Perez Search for the Best Faculty Research Paper, Best Quantitative Paper Award at 13th Network of Calabarzon Educational Institutions Incorporated, CEI Research Forum, and Selected Paper Award recipient at the World Conference in Business and Management 2019. She served as a session chair at WCBM 2018 and 2019 University of Kuala Lumpur. She also served as keynote speaker at the International Conference for Science and Technology Research at Ramada Grandview Hotel, North Point, Hong Kong, at the International Conference for Science and Technology Research. At 9-3 Premier Hotel, Mangdeng 2, Seoul, South Korea. She has published her research paper in the Global Business and Finance Review 2018, a Scopus Index journal. Let us see her video presentation.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Engineer Marizen B. Contreras from the University of Batangas, Philippines. As your keynote speaker for today, the topic that I'm going to impart is all about Lean Six Sigma for educational systems. So why did I choose this topic? Just because, as we all know, everything in science and technology starts with education. Continuous improvement in educational systems will lead us to progressive learning process from basic to higher education and so on. But before everything else, let us first define education. So it is the process of facilitating learning or the acquisition of knowledge, skills, values, beliefs, and habits. Education can take place in formal or informal setting. So our focus will be in the formal education. In our country, formal education starts from basic education, that's K to 12, to higher education or the tertiary education, which is provided by public and private schools, colleges, universities, technical and vocational institutions in the country. Educational systems are designed around a set of values or ideals that govern all educational choices in that system. So those educational choices include the type of curriculum, organizational models, design of the physical learning spaces, student-teacher interactions, methods of assessment, class size, educational activities, and more. The objective of educational systems are, of course, to build a brighter future for our students as professionals and as citizens and provide them with the skills to obtain well-paying and valued careers. But just like other organizations, educational institutions are faced by so many challenges that according to Timothy Winders of Purdue Polytechnic, those are increased student success and retention, increased reporting demands, increased competition for funding, pressure to lower cost. So in order to face those challenges, our educational systems need to adopt Lean Six Sigma that will help us improve our performance, lower our costs, and improve customer satisfaction. So what is Lean? According to Henry Ford, we will not put into our establishment anything that is useless. So the core idea is to maximize customer value while minimizing waste. Simply, it means creating more value for customers with fewer resources. So it is a system of techniques and activities that is focused on the elimination of all non-value adding activities and waste from business. So currently, almost 80 to 85% of our activities are non-value adding. So what are these value-added activities? Enabling value-added activities, non-value added activities. The value-added activities is any action that is taken or action taken that increases the benefit of a good or service for our customers. For our enabling value-added activity, these are activities that do not add value to a customer but must be performed to allow value-adding activities later on. For the non-value-added activity, these are activities that does not increase the worth of what is delivered to our customer. Examples of non-value-added activities or wastes in educational systems are For defects, those are redoing reports, making changes over and over to documents, etc. For the overproduction, ordering forms, etc. that go out of date and must be thrown away. For transportation, the distance that paper has to travel to get approvals, signatures, and also this it can include emails. For waiting for approvals or the emails in our inboxes to be opened and replied. For motion, the required routings that items take to get to the final customer, required forms that enter data repeatedly. For processing, reports and other communications or emails that are sent to multiple receivers that never read or have anything to do with the intent of the document. And of course, the biggest waste in lean education is the underutilization of all the elements in the education process, namely the teachers, the students, and the administrative staff. So the results of poor educational system are students who failed in exams due to unprogrammed education, students who graduate from educational institutions with an intention to find a good job and do not have lifelong learning ability, giving lessons that will not be used by the students in their professional lives and which will not contribute to the concept of value, planning mistakes in curricula and other mistakes in training process. So, the good news is every company has a tremendous opportunity to improve using lean techniques, the techniques that will enable us to deliver higher quality outputs at significantly lower cost. The basic principles of lean education are: first, identify your customers and what they value. So the customer or the customers in education system are the parents, the students, employees, of course, the teachers. So it defines they define the value of the service. The next is map the value stream. So the value stream mapping shows the workflow process steps for a service. The value stream mapping helps to identify and eliminate the non-value added activities. This eventually helps us to reduce the process delays and thereby improves the quality of the service. The next is to create flow to the customer. So create flow to the customer by ensuring continuous flow system in rendering service. Flow will optimize the process to maximize process efficiency. The next is to establish pool based on customer demand. Establish pool approach by meeting system beat time. The beat time is the rate at which a service must be ready to meet the customer demand. Then, of course, seek continuous improvement. Finally, we must put consistent efforts to improve the existing business processes to cater ever-changing customer needs. This ensures elimination of waste and defects, free products and quality service to our customers. So, lean concepts can certainly be applied to teaching practices within schools, but it is important also to think about all of the processes that surround what happens in the classroom. Schools rely on a complex web of processes, including, of course, accounting, emergency preparedness, human resources, facility maintenance, budgeting, food service, technology, professional development, certification, fundraising, testing, parent-community relations, communications, office administration, transportation, and of course, reporting. Okay? So what is Six Sigma? According to Jack Welch, Six Sigma is a quality program that, when all is said and done, improves your customer experience, lowers your costs, and builds better leaders. So Six Sigma is a data-driven problem-solving methodology the focus is on the process variation and emphasis is given to customer satisfaction. Continuous process improvement with low defects is the goal of this method. And this is our Six Sigma methodology. Okay? Okay. Next is integrating Lean and Six Sigma. So for Lean, the goal is to improve process performance through waste elimination and cycle time reduction, while in Six Sigma, the goal is to improve process performance in relation to what is critical to the customer. For Lean, the focus is bias for action. For Six Sigma, the focus is bias for analysis. For Lean, the method is implement Lean tools such as Kaizen events, value stream mapping, 5S, TPM, and etc. For Six Sigma, the method is it uses the MAIC method and quality tools. For Lean, the deployment is implicit infrastructure, while in Six Sigma, the deployment is explicit infrastructure. Lean is after speed, flow, and cost, while Six Sigma is after the customer satisfaction. So what is Lean Six Sigma? It leverages the best problem-solving methods to help organizations achieve their missions and satisfy customers. It is a fact-based, data-driven philosophy of improvement that values defect prevention over defect detection. Lean focuses on waste elimination, supports Six Sigma quality, while Six Sigma quality supports speed. So factors to be considered in the Lean Six Sigma for educational systems, first are the barriers. So what are those? Defect, silos, expectation of quick fixes, the terminologies, leadership, and culture. For critical failure factors, those are lack of visionary leadership, lack of process ownership, lack of training, poor project selection, cultural changes, academic freedom. For the readiness factors, leadership and vision, management commitment and vision, linkage to strategic plan, customer focus, and the right people. For the critical success factors, the leadership, the project selection, the training, the accountability, the right technology, the right marketing, communication, culture, and organizational readiness. Of course, for the key performance indicators, the university ranking, the student completion rate, the student satisfaction, the student attendance, the quality of the university's research, facilities satisfaction, application processing time, university housing. Here are some of the universities that use Lean Six Sigma. In Racine County, Wisconsin, the Racine Unified School District has applied Lean Six Sigma techniques to redefine its enrollment process in its middle school. Singapore Management University created significant change in their institution by training staff on Lean Six Sigma methodologies. University of Miami, Ohio has been called one of the most efficient schools in the country because of their work with Lean and Six Sigma principles, from big campus-wide initiatives to small and granular improvements, like, for example, digitizing the fingerprinting processes the campus police use. So in conclusion, Lean Six Sigma drives customer satisfaction and bottom-line results by reducing variation, waste, and cycle time, while promoting the use of work standardization and flow, thereby creating a competitive advantage. It applies anywhere variation and waste exist, and every employee should be involved. All industries are founded on processes, and all processes can improve, even if that improvement is only slight. But even so, any improvement, especially in education, is a step in the right direction. It improves the quality of existing processes and makes us better managers. According to Henry Ford, coming together is a beginning. Keeping together is progress. Working together is success. And that's all. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Doctor, for such a wonderful presentation. Let us move towards the next presentation, keynote speech of the day. The next keynote speaker for the day is Dr. Agnieszka Elendo-Milsvika, Department of Psychology, the Private University of Pedagogy in Bialystok, Poland. Her topic is what COVID-19 revealed about significant personal experience and 4 ways to rethink mental health problems. PhD Agnieszka Elendo is a psychologist, a certified coach, and career counselor. She is a university professor and a head of the Faculty of Psychology at the Private University of Pedagogy in Bialystok, Poland. She is a head person and founder of the private primary school in Bialystok and a head person of the private preschool in Bialystok. She is also an expert at the Ministry of National Education in Warsaw. Her major research interests include the self-regulation, dysfunctional behavior, and social relation. Her scientist project is concentrate on self-regulation among middle school students and emotional and relationships between groups. She is also an editorial board member of Social Science and Humanities Research Association, Journal Humanities and Social Sciences, People Journal, International Journal of Social Sciences, and International Journal of English Literature and Social Sciences. She acted as an honorary peer reviewer for Global Association of Research USA. She has published widely in Polish and English. She has authored several books, School Environment in the Students, Experiences, Tendencies of Changes, and Dysfunction Among Middle School Students. She awarded the Medal of the Commission of National Education in Poland for exceptional services to the education and upbringing. Metal Diligent for urgency and good posture, granted by the President of the City of Bialystok, 2018, Award of the Ministry of National Education for Outstanding Achievements in Didactic and Educational Work, 2019. As Ms. Agnieszka Elendo would be presenting live, so let's see her video presentation. Ma'am, Agnieszka, you can start sharing your screen.
But you didn't have my presentation?
Ma'am, sorry.
You don't have my presentation?
Ma'am, we just a second, ma'am. Ma'am, we don't have your presentation. You could please present it live by sharing your screen.
Okay, I try to share my screen, but I send you my presentation.
Ma'am, it was not, we were not able to download it. That was the reason.
Okay, I understand. So I try to start my presentation.
Yeah, sure, ma'am.
I need a minute. Before I start, I try to share the screen, but when I upload my presentation, I couldn't see you. So please tell me if everything is working, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, we are able to see your screen.
Before I start, I would like to thank for organizing this conference in a safety way. I'm honored to be invited and I'm glad to participate in the conference call. The main aim of my presentation is to try to answer the question what COVID-19 reveals about significant personal experience. First, I will define the main role and explain the theoretical role. Then I will move to the methodology aids and I present research results, including work and practical implications. I would like to start my short talk by distinguishing the respondents' state. More troublesome become all the limitations, especially maintaining a 2-meter distance between people, limits of people staying in the store at the same time, and disinfection, which leads to sterilization and wearing medical gloves, order to wear masks even in open space, difficulties in making a medical appointment. All this causes an increase of irritation and anger. In addition, there was disinformation in the media. Every few days, there were some messages, often contradictory. In my opinion, the statistic of sickness and death given every hour on the radio intensified the collective panic. I avoided such information, taking care of myself, my mental health. Even simple daily activities have become a huge problem. Today we know that mental health and emotional well-being have taken a hit during the pandemic. Anyway, we know that each of us creates our own life every day, and yesterday's weaknesses may be tomorrow's strength.
Ma'am, we are not able to get the audio of your presentation. Ma'am?
So sorry, I tried to, but some host muted me. So I'm so sorry. It's not my. I tried to start once again from this slide.
Sure, ma'am.
No, it's impossible to every time start again. It's from I'm so sorry, start again. Before I start, I would like to thank for organizing this conference in a safety way.
I'm honored to be invited and I'm glad to participate in conference call. The main aim of my presentation is to try to answer the question what COVID-19 reveals about significant personal experience. First, I will define the main goal and explain the theoretical approach. Then I will move to the methodology aids and I present research results, including remarks and practical implications. I would like to start my short talk by citation the respondents state. More troublesome all the limitations, especially maintaining a 2-meter distance between people, limits of people staying in the store at the same time, and disinfection, which leads to sterilization and wearing medical gloves, or to wear masks even in open space, difficulties in making a medical appointment. All this caused an increase of irritation and anger. In addition, there was disinformation in the media. Every few days, there were some messages, often contradictory. In my opinion, the statistic of sickness and death given every hour on the radio intensified the collective panic. I avoided such information, taking care of myself, my mental health. Even simple daily activities have become a huge problem. Today we know that mental health and emotional well-being have taken a hit during the pandemic. Anyway, we know that each of us creates our own life every day, and yesterday's weaknesses may be tomorrow's strength. How can we counteract the increasing rates of depression, suicide, and addiction accompanying COVID-19? How can we handle trauma on personal and collective levels? The COVID-19 pandemic has had a very strong impact both on our everyday life and on the level of our function. The researchers are making efforts to recognize health, social, and economic effects. The restriction, prohibitions, and unpredictability created by pandemic period show other limitations and imperfections connected with, for example, organization of our life, work, or communication. Our unique social experience is accompanied by various forms of adaptation, more or less effective, acceptable, expensive, some of which are still difficult to identify, analyze, or so-called assessment. The diversity of possible reactions to those pandemics seems to be essential and very important. For psychologists, finding accurate answer to these general questions requires an analysis of personal experiences, thoughts, and feelings. Have we really become more aware of the way we live, more conscious of our needs? Has the pandemic made us cherish our relationship with loved ones? Has lockdown changed priorities and goals? Research conducted by social psychologists in the field of behavioral changes suggests that these public changes are strongly context related. As long as the period of threatened remains, various kinds of adaptations take place. When the context changes, people generally revert to old habits, patterns, and routines fairly quickly. Yes, we can't do the same thing all the time and expect different results. If we have the courage to try something new, we can only learn more. Nevertheless, autobiographical memory is a part of the memory of our own past. It contains both episodic and semantic memories connected with identity by providing answers to three important questions. Who I am, who was I, who can I become? One of the specifics of autobiographical memory is its embedding in personal experience, particularly in a memory whose content refers directly to the subject with which we call it in memory. In other words, it's a memory referring to the time of individual experiencing self. For example, remembering that there are many Polish tourists in Porto is not autobiographical, even if it's based on our personal experience. It does not refer to the self in this memory. Only remembering the situation of a specific meeting and conversation with a random person from Poland meets this criterion. The current study is grounded in the self-memory system model of autobiographical memory. In the field of autobiographical knowledge, there are episodic memories, memories of special events. They are intense in various types of visual sensory details, for example, images, emotions. They are non-persistent mental constructs, strongly associated with short-term goals, actions, and most recent experiences. It raises the question whether personal COVID experiences will consist of the field of autobiographical memory becoming an element of knowledge about yourself. The model is based on research showing that individuals tend to retrieve autobiographical memories from the perspective of their current selves. See Figure 1. Autobiographical memories are described as pattern of activation across the three components of the self-memory system: episodic memory, the working self, and the long-term self. Episodic memories are described as event-specific composites of sensory perceptual cognitive affective details that involve visual imagery and the experience of mentally reliving an event. The working cell coordinates and modulates cognition, affect, and behavior through prioritizing the individual's complex hierarchy of roles. Finally, the long-term self includes both the conceptual self and autobiographical knowledge base. Research on autobiographical memory conducted in Poland and around the world showed that memories were located on the timeline in an asymmetric manner. Happy and important events were placed early in life. Memories of sad experiences were placed in a disorganized manner. Fiałkowska and Gruszczyński confirmed the hypothesis of easier activation of memories with positive reminder. Matuszewski states that autobiographical memory has information function. For example, episodic memories will be used to make decisions, communicative functions, interpersonal functions, motivational and emotional functions. It can be assumed that not all episodic memories will fulfill these functions and that not all of them will be part of autobiographical memory. This correlation between memories and emotions is an essential feature of autobiographical memory. Until now, research related to the regulatory role of autobiographical memories from the COVID-19 pandemic has not been conducted. It means that the importance of such research is increasing more and more. The main aim of the study is to analyze significant personal experience from the first two waves of pandemic. Based on the research on the regulatory role of autobiographical memory, I assume that the analysis of autobiographical episodic memories from this period will reveal significant personal experiences that may become part of knowledge about oneself, which will reveal an important element of the answer to the question of whether and how this unique period changed us and what explained. The following hypotheses were formulated. Hypothesis 1. It can be assumed that episodic memories which have been subjected to deeper reflection will become the basis of knowledge about oneself. They will have a greater regulatory role to create a positive perspective for the future. The second hypothesis. It can be expected that there are differences between them in the answers to the question about what did you do, what did you feel, what did you think. Hypothesis 3. Episodic memories focus on three components of the ego structure. What did I do? What I would like to do? What do I think I should have done? I define the independent and dependent variables, which are strongly linked to theoretical background. The indicators of the personal COVID experience linked with time of individual experience itself are sphere of life, period, place, presence of others. The indicators of the personal COVID experience linked with conceptual self are connected with self-image, ideal self, how to self. The indicators of the various characteristics of the personal COVID experience is linked to informative function, communicative function, interpersonal functions, motivational and emotional function. And we have three respondents' declaration to the idea of dependent variables, thoughts, emotions, and reactions. The survey consists of cover letter, instruction, question about the current mood before filling the survey. Part 1 concerned the description of personal COVID experience in the area sphere of life, period, place, presence of others. Part 2 was related to question about reaction and thoughts and feelings related to most significant relevant personal COVID experience. Part 3 involved the question about the various characteristics of this most significant COVID experience. Part 4 referred to the question about the current mood after filling the survey. Part 5 was related to demographic factors. The research took place among 37 students aged 19-60 years in a private primary school, private university in Białystok in the period from May 2021 to February 2022. Let us analyze the answers of the respondents. Figure 1 presents that before filling the survey, 63 of respondents do not know the answers. 70 of them feel definitive positive. I want to present the answers about what did they do in the field of self-image. Now I want to show the answers about what I would like to do. And the answers about what do I think I should have done in the field of the self. To sum up, it means that to the question, how did you react to COVID? The answers were given by 43 of respondents. If you would react differently, the answers were given by 24 respondents. If you think you should have reacted differently, the answers were given by 13 of respondents. The achieved results suggest that the personal COVID experience are strongly linked with personal life, take place during the period of the second wave of pandemic, revealed that respondents were with their family or alone, and take place in a public place or at home. The result of my own research indicate that in the sphere of communication, the personal COVID experiences made them more difficult, made it much harder to understand others, made it much harder to stop the conversation. It turned out that in the field of relation with the family, the results may indicate that the personal COVID experiences made that the role of relation has decreased considerably, made that people need more isolation. I think that these results requires deeper analysis. Respondents realized that a relation would be very persistent. Data shows that in the sphere of changing the future goals and desires, the personal COVID experience made them that many important things have become less important. It's worth to recognize the value system of the responses, made them want to live differently, will become as a lifelong plan. When it was assumed that episodic memories which have been subjected to deeper reflection will become the basis of knowledge about oneself, this exceptional period did not change anything for about half of the respondents. We have to remember that mistakes are lessons, but what we learn from them is up to us. Some stubbornly doing the same expect different results, and they cannot be different. You can't do anything new using the old recipe. Generally speaking, memories was described as unpleasant and expressive. It could be stated that only for 14 of respondents, the COVID experience became part of the biographical memory used to make decisions, enable contacts, create and maintain strong relations, set goals and methods of their implementation. Each of us gets to know ourselves, but without distance from ourselves, we cannot know ourselves 100%. In the area of selected research group, I would like to propose the extension of the research group to include students from other countries and propose a question: will the pandemic be remembered differently depending on cultural conditions? The research tools can also be extended to include the methods of directed connotation by Krovitz and Schiffman, in which the tested person receives a list of words and then is asked to provide specific life events related to them. Fact it's being called a shadow pandemic means that we need to take stock on a personal level. Pandemic cracked open the facade and mental health and exposed the insufficiency and injustices. What we can do, the way is to look at our personal challenges, more empathy, more judgments to make people feel more safe. We have to remember that if we simply care, listen, show empathy, be more humble, look to our left, look to our right, and just be present with compassion, that is all what we can do. Growth always takes place outside your comfort zone. As long as you are comfortable, you are not growing. In the same way that we need to look at our personal challenges, we also need to look at the different context, social challenges. Now, under the pandemic, the level of anxiety have increased across the board, but they are seen as individual trends rather than very clear signs of collective activities. So this crisis took us completely out of our comfort zone and nearly brought us down to knees, also creating a huge opportunity for learning and growing. So what have we learned? I mean, what did we learn right away? Your vision and your plans can only be realized if you say it aloud. If you keep it to yourself, it will remain only your invention. So this is not a problem of an individual man. It's not a European problem. This is a global problem. we need big ideas to tackle this. So let's start by providing free online consultation by therapists to those who need will be really great initiatives focused on the mental health. The pandemic changed everything all over the world. Take heart. The pandemic will end, and if we take inspiration from the success of and lessons from the failures, we can keep the next potential pandemic so contained that our children's children won't even know its name. One of the most important things that we can do is realize the things that we aren't doing now. Things we have stopped doing and not go back and do it again. What if we don't go back? What if we go forward and rethink the way we are acting? Thank you for your attention.
Many thanks.
Thank you, Ma'am Agnieszka, for such an informative presentation. Let us move towards the conference and have our next presenter. The next keynote speech of today is from Dr. Yoshiko Yamaguchi, Home Care Nursing, Faculty of Nursing, Kwasui Women's University, Japan. Her topic of presentation is work engagement and work-family interface. Which one is more influential on nurses? Intention to leave work. Dr. Yoshiko Yamaguchi has received her PhD at Kyushu University during the period of 2013 and 16. Currently, she is working as a research associate in home care nursing at the Faculty of Nursing, Kwasui Women's University, Japan. She has successfully completed her responsibilities as a reviewer of 81 research articles in 24 journals from 2016 to present, and she has been serving as an editorial board member of 2 journals, Life, International Journal of Health and Life Sciences, and Journal of Practical and Professional Nursing, and has been delegated Vice President of the Healthcare and Biological Sciences Research Association. Let's see her video presentation.
Hello everyone, this is Yoshiko Yamaguchi from Kasui Women's University, Japan. Thank you for inviting me as a keynote speaker in this international conference, and also appreciating for the conference organizer and participants for holding this conference in such difficult time haven't finished COVID-19 pandemic. I'm so pleased to have an opportunity to present a part of our research in this international conference in webinar. Our research is focusing on nurses. Nurses are predominant healthcare workers in the world, and delegated to the robust role of maintaining or promoting people's health. So nurses are important occupation to keep people's health status. However, the number of nurses are insufficient in the world. Many countries are facing a serious situation of deficit number of nurses. Therefore, we want to explore effective way how nurses to keep in their workplace. Before leaving work, employees often feel intention to leave work. Of course, not always. Therefore, numerous research have researched what factors are antecedent for nurses' intention to leave their profession or workplace. At first, job satisfaction. Job satisfaction was likely most researched regarding as important variables of nurse turnover. If nurses dissatisfied to their work, nurses feel intention to leave work were reported on numerous research work in the world. Next is job tenure. Many nurse researchers pointed out that newly graduated nurses feel more intention to leave work than nurses who have long job tenure. One possible reason is that the newly graduate nurses do not gain enough skill or knowledge working as a nurse. Therefore, new nurses feel more work-related stress than they perceive intention to leave work. Next is organizational commitment. This factor was especially related to nurses' intention to leave their organization rather than profession. Nursing. If nurses don't like their organization or don't want to contribute to their organization, nurses feel intention to leave their work. And next is job control. Job control is a freedom for nurses on clinical practice. If nurses are allowed to decide their care by themselves, or nurses can act what they want to do, nurses satisfy their nursing, then they intend to continue to work. Contrary, if nurses are restricted to their freedom of nursing care, their intention to leave work increases. And the next is supervisor or worker support. If nurses feel their supervisor or worker friendly or supportive, nurses feel comfortable, then they intend to leave work or decrease. These are not all reported antecedents. However, most of these are work-related factors. These two work to work or family status. Negative perception, work-family conflict have a negative impact So if someone's work-family conflict high, then if it continue, he or her mental health impaired or decide leaving work. On the other hand, positive perception, work-family arrangement have positive influence. If someone feel work-family arrangement, if it continue, he or her job or family satisfaction high, they feel happy in both domains. However, contrary to work-family conflict, which is negative perception, reported result related intention to leave work are inconsistent. Along the mentioning background, we generated the following study purpose. The purpose of this study is to clarify which factors have more impact to nurses' intention to leave their profession among their work engagement, work-family conflict, and work-family enrichment. Data were collected in a Kyushu district of Japan. We randomly selected hospitals, nursing homes, and home healthcare institutions in Kyushu, then asked them to give the permission conducting this study. Finally, 4 hospitals, 20 nursing homes, and 34 home healthcare institutions have agreed to attend our study. We analyzed total 533 valid questionnaires. Work-family conflict and work-family enrichment and dependent variables. Target nurses' intention to leave the profession. This is result. Both work engagement and work-family conflict, work interference with family were associated to their intention to leave their profession. Work engagement was significantly negatively related to their intention to leave the profession. It means that if nurses feel more work engagement, they would perceive less intention to leave nursing. Contrary to work engagement, work-family conflict, work interference with family, not family interference with work, was significantly positively related to their intention to leave nursing. This means that if nurses feel more work-family conflict, they would consider leaving nursing. Different to work engagement and work-family conflict, work-family enrichment was not significantly related to their intention to leave the profession. Work engagement shows the most magnitude of impact effect to their intention to leave nursing. In this regression analysis, work engagement indicated about 4 times more T-score than the work-family conflict. Implication for practice. Ahead of it, this study have limitation, especially sampling. We conducted in one area of Kyushu in Japan, so this result might have contained characterized culture of Japan Kyushu district. From this study result, it is implied that if nurses love nursing, they feel vigor, dedication, and absorption for nursing. They may continue nursing with while adjust their work and family environment. This was simultaneously show if nurses who have less work engagement perceive work-family conflict, they will possibly feel more intention to leave nursing. Work engagement was the most effective for less nurses' intention to leave profession. It is sure that to make the job contents of nurse more attractive for nurses would be effective for less their intention to leave nursing. In future research, what job content is the attractive for nurses should be explored. This would be important for nurse retention in the future.
Thank you, ma'am Yoshiko Yamaguchi, for such a wonderful presentation. Also, if anybody has any questions, you can put it in the chat box. The speaker will try to answer it over there. Moving towards with the conference. Next, we have our team building activity and photo session. Let us proceed towards our team building activity. Sometimes we miss the opportunity of connection and linkage with fellow participants of the conference. This team activity is to encourage interaction among all the participants. One by one, we will share the views and solutions on the topic of discussion, and also we will be conducting a photo session during the same. The topic of discussion is how false news can be spread. Let's see the video.
There's a quote usually attributed to the writer Mark Twain that goes, "A lie can travel halfway around the world while the truth is putting on its shoes." Think about that. There's reason to doubt that Mark Twain ever said this at all. Thus, ironically, whoever said it is truer than ever before. Most media with global reach consisted of several major newspapers and networks which had the resources to gather information directly. Outlets like Reuters and the Associated Press that aggregate or re-report stories were relatively rare compared to today. The speed with which information spreads now has created the ideal conditions for a phenomenon known as circular reporting. This is when publication A publishes misinformation, publication B reprints it, and publication A then cites B as the source for the information. It's also considered a form of circular reporting when multiple publications report on the same initial piece of false information, which then appears to another author as having been verified by multiple sources. For instance, the 1998 publication of a single pseudoscientific paper arguing that routine vaccination of children causes autism inspired an entire anti-vaccination movement, despite the fact that the original paper has repeatedly been discredited by the scientific community. Deliberately unvaccinated children are now contracting contagious diseases that had been virtually eradicated in the United States, with some infections proving fatal. In a slightly less dire example, satirical articles that are formatted to resemble real ones can also be picked up by outlets not in on the joke. For example, a joke article in the reputable British Medical Journal entitled "Energy Expenditure in Adolescents Playing New Generation Computer Games" has been referenced in serious science publications over 400 times. User-generated content such as wikis are also a common contributor to circular reporting. As more writers come to rely on such pages for quick information, an unverified fact in a wiki page can make its way into a published article that may later be added as a citation for the very same wiki information, making it much harder to debunk. Recent advances in communication technology have had immeasurable benefits in breaking down the barriers between information and people. But our desire for quick answers may overpower the desire to be certain of their validity. And when this bias can be multiplied by billions of people around the world nearly instantaneously, more caution is in order. Avoiding sensationalist media, searching for criticisms of suspicious information, and tracing the original source of a report can help slow down a lie, giving the truth more time to put on its shoes.
Okay, now as we've seen the team activity video, so I would like to know everybody's views on this video. Let us start with Ma'am Ludmila.
The matter is that nowadays there is a real problem for mass media in general, because as we could see in the video, there is a launch of false information and fake news and so on and so on. And in fact, I would ask a bit different question, not how the false news can be spread, but how to resist it, in fact. And answering this question, I would say that it's not really easy, but I think that all of us have to be, how to say it, have to bring up in ourselves critical thinking. First of all, started with yourself, yeah, to have this critical thinking and to bring it up and to help other people, young generations, for example, and just opposite for older people, to help them to resist false information. And definitely to check it. What is critical thinking? Not to believe everything that you can see, you can hear. You have to filter it and to find the sources and check and recheck the information, which is, let's say, important for you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for sharing your views. Okay, ma'am, Yoshiko, ma'am, would you like to please share your views on the team activity video? Ma'am, please unmute yourself. We are not able to hear you. Ma'am, Yoshiko, ma'am, please unmute yourself.
I'm so sorry, I couldn't be active now. Give me 10 minutes, okay?
Yeah. Okay, ma'am.
Hello.
Hello, ma'am. Ignazika, ma'am.
Can you hear my voice?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much. So ahead of this, I'm terribly sorry that my video was long. I'm very sorry. So,
no, ma'am, not at all.
So, I think as I agree with Ms. Linden. So critical thinking is very important, I think, but it's very difficult to have the knowledge of the critical thinking for everyone. And also there is a lot of information, lots of news in the world, recently, especially recently. I think compared with 10 years ago, 20 years ago, we don't have such many of information. I can't, because we don't have any internet access or SNS like this. So I think it's more simple in the past. It's more simple and not necessary to have the high knowledge of critical thinking, but now it's very difficult. And everyone have to have this knowledge, I think. But I think it's very, I think it's very difficult. It's a problem, I think. How about any other participant? What do you think? I think.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Yes, I think so it's difficult.
Thank you.
Also, me too. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your views. Ma'am, Ignazika, would you please like to share your views on the team activity video? Meanwhile, I would also like to request everyone to please put your cameras on. Ma'am Ignazika. Okay. Oh. Yes, ma'am, Karina and Charles, Sir Charles, would you like to please share your videos or views on the video?
Yes, sure.
Of course. Can you hear us well? It's a little bit noisy here.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Very nice. So what's happening now, particularly on social networks, is that something that is sensational, something out of normal, out of usual, attracts attention a lot, and it call for authenticity. If it's authentic information, for authentic views, we react more to something that is not authentic. And they tend to publish also something that is not authentic. And I did a recent study on education of women on social networks. And it's saying that there's kind of paradox that what people think about what should be done on social networks, what they actually do. So it's fake news. So fake news is also not authentic, it's motivational, it's more publishing and it's more spread. People to start to think and behave according to the values that they put, things that people just reacting and being fast thinkers as opposed to following.
And I'm going to complete this view with the algorithm perspective. In my opinion, I've been studying algorithm for a few years, and in my opinion, particularly on social media, it's a very positive. I would say it's very easy to propagate fake news on social media, and I think the algorithm of the platform itself encourages somehow this propagation. As you know, many of the business models on social media are related based on ads, advertisements. So the more you click, the more you view, and the more you get finally some money from that. So when fake news propagates on the network, people are clicking, they are sharing very quickly because they are trained to be fast on this network. And I don't think that the network itself, the algorithm of like recommendation system that you have is made to prevent that at first. It's like kind of start of a buzz, and a buzz is positive for the social media because it connects people more closely because the information spreads fastly. So I guess it's a bit hard, and it's an ethical problem also for social media, whether or not they should stop this fake news. At what point should they be proactive or not? So I know that more and more they are somehow responsible for what is spread on the platform, but at first it could be also a deal with the business model around it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for sharing your views. Thank you, Ma'am Karina, for sharing your views with us. Dr. Kennedy, would you like to share your views on the video?
Yeah, actually, I've taken time. I've listened to the presentation, the one on fake news. It's really a difficult issue. It's really bad because from my own view, it's easier to propagate a falsehood than even real news. Because especially now that we have everyone has access to technology, social media, and the rest of it. Well, it goes on all of us now to like actually before we check everything we hear, it goes on us to like ask second question: is it true? Before we start accepting. I think that's where it concerns all of us that we try to question, because as educated, as illiterate persons, we don't need to accept everything we are being thrown out. We should be asking questions. So it's actually, I think it's a real problem because fake news spreads faster than even the real news, and it takes more time to try to contain it, try to explain, and try to like prove that this is wrong information. That's what I have to say, but I think it's a real problem.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Kennedy, for sharing your views with us. Moving next to Ma'am Igninska. Would you please like to share your views on the video? team activity video? Okay, I guess there are some technical glitches. Let's move on to Ma'am Fanjun. Would you please like to share your views on the team activity video?
Yeah, sure. I totally agree with what the video suggested about how false news is negatively affecting our lives. I'm a high school student right now, so I guess I'll relate to my experience as a part of my generation. So we use a lot of social media in daily life, such as Instagram and TikTok, and everyone can make a fake account to spread false news. So there are many cases where you can just stay anonymous online when posting comments. So it's just too easy to say anything through the internet and social media. And I guess for social media influencers to remain prevalent and popular, they need something that interests the audience and just to attract their eyes. And I think the best way for them to do is just to fake something out. And so, yeah, I think the audience should also be said to occupy an important position in the whole process. But many news stories don't have a direct stake at in some specific people's lives. So even if it's fake, many people would still look at it out of curiosity. So that would be another medium other than the source to spread the false news. And yeah, these are my opinions.
Thank you, Ma'am Fanjun, for your views. Sir Elan, would you like to share your views? I would request you to please put your camera on. Sir Elan? Okay, I guess there are some technical glitches. Let's just have the views from Ma'am Igniska. Ma'am, please share your views on the team activity video.
Thank you for understanding. I think that the point of view, the point of psychologist view is some of the theories, the phenomenon of social influence, the conformistic attitude, motivated reasoning, information stress. So I want to tell you about only one or 2 points of psychological view. The first one is social influence. It means that there is a tendency to be influenced by fake news in uncertain or unknown situation in which the individual does not have enough knowledge to make a decision. And numerous research results have shown that fake news that evoke a feeling of anger, fear, as a result, are better remembered and more willingly disseminated on the internet. So the human mind has a tendency to quickly process information and recognize it as true almost automatically. For that reason, psychologists highlighted that people need to be right, because it's another theory, it's motivated reasoning theory, leads us to accepting and seeking information that supports previous beliefs while ignoring alternative explanation. The basis of this tendency is the natural needs for the mind to receive information that is in harmony with already existing views and beliefs. So for that reason, the psychologist says that people need to be right. People are able to accept unreliable information as long as it allows them to better understand the reality around them. So it's only a few psychological point of view, but I think that it's more important for today's discussion.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Igniska, ma'am, for sharing your views with us.
Thank you very much.
So, Ilan, would you like to share your views with us about the team activity video? So, Ilan? Okay, I guess there are some technical glitches. Moving towards with the conference. I would like to welcome today's listeners of the day. So Samuel Buffy Odamako, Department of Clinical Microbiology, Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Kumasi, Ghana. The second listener for the day is Sir Ilan Lohar, Psychology, Swinburne University, Melbourne, Australia. The third listener for the day is Sir Benjamin Yenmalug, Department of Clinical Microbiology, Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Kumasi, Ghana. I would like to welcome our first presenter of the day, Dr. Kennedy Olegbo, Department of Clinical Pharmacy and Biopharmaceutics, Enugu State University of Science and Technology, Enugu, Nigeria. His topic is Assessment of Knowledge, Attitude, and Perception of COVID-19 Vaccination among final year students of the Faculty of Social Sciences of Nigerian University. You may also read his abstract. Also, Dr. Kennedy Olegbo would like to share his presentation online. So I would request Sir Kennedy to share his presentation and share his screen.
Thank you for having me. Good day, friends. Actually, I'm having a just technical issue with my slides. This is supposed to be a poster presentation, ideally, but actually I'm having problem with my slides. So I have to apologize, and I ask if I can summarize my point, since I will still send the whole work down to you. So if it's acceptable, I will go ahead. Please, we do apologies for that in my serious inability. And
so you do not have your presentation right now?
No, I didn't send it. So I'm having problem with my slides. It's supposed to be a poster presentation. So that's, yeah, supposed to be a poster presentation, but I'm having problem with that slide. So that's my my apology. So I don't know whether I can summarize my finding pending when we're going to send the full report such work.
Okay. So okay, sir. So would you like to present it at the after a few presenters at that time, like the slide would work?
It's okay. Let me see whether it works. For perfect. It's okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay, sir. So let's move towards the next presenter of the day then. Our next presenter of the day is Syed Siamak Amiri, Medicine Department, Tehran University of Medical Sciences, Tehran, Iran. The topic is implementing new healthcare technology approaches, benefits, and challenges. You may also read his abstract. Due to his prior engagement, Sir Syed Siamak Amiri is not able to join us. So we'll move with the next presenter. The next presenter of the day is Ma'am Karina Sokolova, Research Department, Paris School of Business, Paris, France. Her topic is, can social media influencers encourage healthier behavior? A study of food influencers and home cooking intentions. Along with Ma'am Karina, Sir Charles Perez is also going to present. So let me read out his. Sir Charles Perez is a digital marketing entrepreneurship and society, Paris School of Business, Paris, France. His topic of presentation is, can social media influencers encourage healthier behavior? A study of food influencers and home cooking intentions. You may also read their abstract as they're going to read do their presentation together. Let us move towards their presentation.
Hello everyone, my name is Karina Sokolova and today I will present you our study that is named Can Social Media Influencers Encourage Healthy Behavior? A study of food influencers and home cooking intentions. Recently, it has been observed that French people start to consume less fresh fruits and vegetables in favor to pre-made processed food or takeaway meals. Also, more and more people eat out of home instead of cooking at home. However, the research showed that eating out of home um, is related to higher intake of energy, fat, sodium, lower intake of meat, micronutrients, fruits and vegetables, and also is related to sedentary lifestyle that was shown to be to have very negative effects on health and increased likeliness of obesity. So as such, given that home cooking was related to higher intake of vegetable salads and fruits, and also to many sociological benefits by the literature, seems possible to increase public health by encouraging people to cook at home instead of eating out of home. We've also seen the popularization of influencers on social media. So very popular accounts that promote a kind of style or behavior. Among those influencers, we can observe food influencers that encourage cooking or at least show recipes, show healthy lifestyles, and that seems to promote such lifestyle. The literature shows that influencers have a very strong marketing power. So by they can advertise products to their followers and increase purchase intentions. However, they also promote a particular lifestyle, so for example, healthy eating or healthy lifestyle. But it is unclear if they really encourage their followers to behave like them and if they really promote such behaviors. A recent study had questioned the possibility that influencers could encourage healthy behavior such as fitness. So therefore, in this article, we are interested in social media influencers and if they could encourage healthier behavior, being role models for social media users. So we leverage social cognitive theory as a theoretical background. Social cognitive theory explains that people could observe certain behavior and adopt this behavior if they somehow motivated to adopt it. And the motivations come from the observed benefits. So people think that the behavior is beneficial, observe the beneficial is the behavior is beneficial for someone, and also from the self-efficacy, so the ability to perform such behavior. So as such, we integrate benefits and self-efficacy into our model, and we test if benefits and self-efficacy could encourage the followers of food influencers to make the recipes they show. So we adopt quantitative research, quantitative study, and we use partially square approach to test our hypothesis. Bootstrapping method with 500 some samples. We obtained a total of 262 respondents, all women, aged between 18 and 45 years old. That is the majority of Instagram users. All of those respondents follow at least one food influencer on Instagram. So our model integrates two benefits, health and economic. It was shown by multiple studies that home cooking is very beneficial for health, but also for economic reasons. And we observed that food influencers frequently include those benefits into their recipes. So they frequently mention that the recipe is very healthy or good for the budget and could be made on budget. Our dependent variable is an imitation intention, so the intention to cook the recipes proposed by the influencers and to cook them at home. So our results show that actually health and economic benefits do not influence imitation intention. We didn't find a significant link between benefits and imitation intention. However, self-efficacy is indeed related to imitation intention. So people that feel they could imitate the recipe, could reproduce this recipe, are more likely to cook those recipes at home. So such results made us to proceed with this study, and we've created an extended model with more of different benefits and also the antecedents of self-efficacy. And we observed that although health and economic benefits do not seem to be related to imitation intention, social and entertainment benefits that are more emotion related are actually related to imitation intention. Also, among other variables, we observe descriptive norms, or the perception that other followers make those recipes at home as a significant variable, but also the attractiveness of the recipe and the novelty seeking seems to influence imitation intention. Considering self-efficacy, the perceived ease of the recipe, verbal persuasion from an influencer, and past experience in cooking are related to the perceived self-efficacy. However, the perceived similarity with an influencer doesn't seem to affect self-efficacy. So such results show that influencers could indeed drive positive behavior and influence public health. However, it is surprising that utilitarian benefits do not seem to impact this decision, but more emotional stimuli. So it seems that arguments could be outtaken by emotional stimuli. And it's possible that younger generations, users of social networking platforms such as Instagram, are more emotionally driven than information driven. So considering the practical implications, as the self-efficacy is important for followers to reproduce the recipes, we advise Instagram influencers to provide clear instructions for the recipes, use cooking techniques that can be applied at home, and choose seasonal and easy to find ingredients. Also, we encourage to incorporate verbal persuasion into the content to encourage people to cook and to reproduce those recipes at home. Given that past experience is very important for self-efficacy, we would suggest including cooking classes from young age, probably from school. Thank you very much for your attention. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask, and you can also contact us by email that is shown below. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Ma'am Karina and Sir Charles, for such a wonderful presentation. Also, I would like to ask you whether you want to add anything else to your presentation.
If you have any questions, just feel free to ask. Actually, in general, Media, in particular social media, often criticized a lot for having bad influence. And recently with Charles, our goal was to try to be interested in beneficial parts of social media and if media, traditional social media, could have benefits for us, and in particular, we wanted to help influence movements and continue diet. And it seems, so it's not perfect, but it seems promising.
Okay.
Anyway, if any participants have ideas or would like to join us for the research, we are quite open.
Sure. Anyone else would like to ask any questions to Ma'am Karina and Sir Charles? And you may ask it. Okay. Anyone who's interested in asking any questions, you can put it in the chat box. The speaker will try to answer it over there. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, let's move towards the conference. Our next presenter of the day is Ma'am Fanjun Zhao, Newton South High School, Newton, USA. Her topic of presentation is a portable miniature syringe needle remover and receptacle for drug injection users. You may also read her abstract. Let us see her video presentation.
UGC content is all the rage in the freelancing world right now, and I'm actually super excited about it because user-generated content, or UGC content, is actually the majority of the business that my marketing firm gets and has gotten over the past couple of years. So I've been making money this way for several
Hi everyone, my name is Fanjun Zhou. Today I'm going to give a presentation on my invention, disposable needle remover and receptacle, which is a portable miniature syringe needle remover and receptacle for drug injection users. First, let me introduce myself a little bit. I'm currently a senior student at Newton South High School in Massachusetts, United States. My potential areas of interest are public health and engineering, which are related to what I'm going to present today. The outline of my presentation includes 4 sections. First, the background. Second, related art and past inventions. Third, the invention itself. And lastly, the outlook. Before we get into the invention, let's learn about the background a little bit. So what exactly is drug injection? Well, drug injection is a method of introducing a drug into the bloodstream through a hollow hypodermic needle that is pierced through the skin into the body. Injections like this are typically done into the vein, but injecting drugs under the skin is also becoming popular, which is also known as skin popping, as shown in the picture here. After knowing about the basic information, we might wonder what effect drug injection can bring us, or what kind of harm it may cause. Examples of common types of drugs for injection are heroin, cocaine, methamphetamine, and so on. Injection drug users may face different challenges that normal people wouldn't face, such as additional social stigma, increased risk for infectious diseases, and health consequences of injection drug use, in addition to the injection process itself. And some other data related to injection drug users indicates that there are about 1 million injection drug users in the United States. And globally, around 11 million people inject drugs. In the medical research article, Syringe Disposal Among Injection Drug Users in San Francisco, which was published in March 2011, Lindy Wenger and his research team conducted a visual inspection and a quantitative survey on the prevalence of improperly discarded syringes. Based on the data they collected, they found that 67% of the injection drug users reported improper disposal at some point over the prior 30 days. And 13%, which is 8,000 of the syringes, were disposed improperly among the injection drug users. And a total of 20 syringes were found in 11 neighborhoods. We might wonder where exactly these syringes were found. Well, they could be found everywhere. In a public place, in the trash, down the toilet, or in a sewer or manhole. Additionally, the targeted population is all normal people, including our innocent kids and pregnant women. There was actually a case related to the harm of improperly disposed syringe needles in Australia. An 8-year-old child was pricked by a syringe in playground. The child would undergo months of blood tests, including a screening for HIV, hepatitis C, and hepatitis B. And 8 needles were later discovered in that playground. The father was furious at the perpetrators who abandoned the needles in the playground. He said that, why a kids' park? Of all places to do that, especially this park where my kids and the neighborhood kids are constantly playing. What sort of animal does that? After investigating the factual information, data, and case related to improperly disposed drug syringes, I started to research about what kind of existing solutions we have so far. So let's get into the next section, related art and past inventions. Like we talked about before, syringe needles with drug and medical residues could possibly cause the spread of infections and affect human health conditions seriously. So in recognition of these risks, the safety devices or safely disposable of the disposable syringe needles is actually mandatory in the United States. As a result, disposable syringes are becoming more universal. According to the North American Syringe Exchange Network, there are about 200 needle exchange programs in 33 states and the District of Columbia. Syringes with auto-disable features or capping mechanism have also been developed, with a majority of 2 types, mechanical and electronic. However, most needle removal devices on the market are too big to make it hard to carry around, and it's too expensive and unaffordable to injection drug users. Besides, these devices are mostly used in medical places like hospitals or medical institutions. There are also many patents intending to mitigate the drug syringe disposal issue, as a list shown on this slide. Let's take 2 of them to look deeper into. First, the US patent by Johnson aka Means described a pocket-sized remover and receptacle whereby needles and the syringe were broken with a guillotine-like mechanism. However, there are a few disadvantages with this design. First, the configurations of the syringe bottom are various. Next, it's hard to well accommodate the syringe into the device opening to cut the needle short enough to prevent a stubble. Lastly, mounting the metal guillotine onto the plastic box presents another practical difficulty for a cigarette lighter-sized device. Another US patent by Gerald Cooley, Stephen Francis, and their team, they designed a device for unscrewing syringe needles by rotating the entire socket consisting of another pair of pliers. These advantages for this design include, first, the complexity of the parts as shown on the second image here can lead to inconvenience in production, and it causes too much trouble for the injection drug users to use. While investigating the existing solutions and inventions, as I described before, there are some drawbacks. As a result, I designed my own invention in the hope to ease the syringe disposal issue. My device is going to follow the SPD target. First, safe. It's necessary to make sure it's safe for the injection drug users to dispose of used syringe needle. Second, portable. The device should be miniature that's easy to carry around and to produce. Third, effective. The device can cut off needles from syringes easily. Fourth, dependable. It could store the syringe needles safely so it won't fall out of the device and hurt others. The overall structure of my device includes two portions, the upper lid portion and the lower box portion. It's a device for capturing and storing syringe needles, includes an upper lid portion mounted tightly onto the lower box portion through an interlock system on the opposing sides of the device. The device is handy, portable, and can be easily put into a pocket purse or supplies kit. In addition, preferably, the interlock system is protruded high enough above the surface so that the user's hand can hold the receptacle behind it to prevent from being hurt by a needle. Let's take a closer look at each of the two portions. There is a vertical cylinder inside the upper lid, which is centered and sits on a rainbow-like anvil embedded in the lower box. After mounting, the portion sits right on the center of the anvil. Ideally, there is a conventional protective cover, which is not shown in the image here, and the use is to cover the cylinder outside to further prevent the broken needles from falling out of the box. In the lower box portion, the anvil has a rainbow-like shape to direct the needle to go along longitudinally when bended. The anvil is made of iron, steel, porcelain, or any materials that are hard enough to collide, bend, or twist needles. Preferably, the anvil has some projected ridges longitudinally, and the anvil is mounted on its slatted base by two inward-rolled hooks on the two opposing sides. Ideally, there is a horizontal cylinder at the bottom of the anvil base, and a magnet is mounted there to attract the broken needles. Also, it's ideal if there is an absorbent on the bottom to absorb drug residue. For the configuration of the device, it generally follows a breaking-twisting mechanism. To break a used needle, we are going to follow the following steps. So first, a disposable syringe after its use is held in one hand, and the needle portion is inserted through the cylinder. After the needle reaches the anvil, firmly push down the syringe against the anvil until the needle is bended to almost a right angle at its root position. Then, the user rotates the syringe on the anvil to twist the needle off the syringe when it is brought contact with either the anvil ridges or at the joining points between the anvil and the cylinder. As the needle is broken, it falls under gravity and magnetic force into the bottom of the box and is retained there. So preferably, the openings between the anvil and the cylinder are big enough for the needle to go through when being bended and extended, while small enough to prevent the broken needles from aligning with the cylinder and dropping out of the device. As a summary, the device is first, simple, small, and handy enough. It's mechanical and does not require electricity to use. It's safe for IDU, which is injection drug users, to cut off the needles. and the producer can use a model to easily produce, so it's manufacturable. Last but not least, it's portable and easy to carry around. These are all my presentations for the invention, but what can this invention bring? What is the future? In this drug-infested society, drug injections such as heroin and cocaine are becoming more and more popular. Its rampancy in drug festivals means an increase in dangers faced by ordinary people, especially for vulnerable groups such as innocent children and pregnant women. It seems difficult to stop this poisonous hands of those demons. However, what we can do is to minimize the harm of existing drugs. The needle remover described in this presentation is just one example of how engineering and public health are used to enhance the likelihood that drug injection needles can be effectively disposed. More education and information about the dangers of injecting drugs and improperly disposed syringes needs to be disseminated. May every presentation such as the one I have given today wake up one more drug user who does not handle syringes properly, and may such inventions save one more ordinary people from the potential danger. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Panjun ma'am, for your wonderful presentation. Also, I would ask that, would you like to add anything to your presentation? Panjun ma'am.
Sorry, could you repeat that again?
Thank you for your wonderful presentation. And also, I would add, would you like to add anything along with the presentation?
No.
If anybody has any questions, you may ask her about the presentation. Okay, if anybody is having any questions, you can please put it in the chat box. The speaker will try to answer you over there. Also, Dr. Kennedy, are you ready with your presentation? Would you like to present it now? So please unmute yourself. You're not audible.
I've not resolved this challenge. Yeah, I've not resolved the challenge. Sorry about that.
Okay. So you're presenting or not, sir?
I'll step it down.
Okay.
Step it down. Okay. Do you hear me?
Yes, sir. So you can
I'll step it down. Should I just summarize my points, or I step it down since I'm having issue with the slide?
Okay. Yeah. So you're not able to share your screen, right?
Sure, that's the problem. That's the problem.
If you would like to summarize it verbally, that would be fine.
Okay. Fine. Let me go with that. Thank you for saying, Doctor. I have to send my regards to Dr. F. Charles and the whole of Eurasia Research Forum for having me. This is the first time of my joining the conference of Eurasia, and so I'm glad for this invite and for you having me. Well, as a word of introduction, my name, just as I said before, is Dr. Kennedy Mekao of Department of Clinical Pharmacy and Bioinformatics, Enugu State University of Science and Technology, Enugu State, Nigeria. My topic is assessment of the attitude, knowledge, and the perception of social science final year students about COVID. Well, as a one introduction, we are aware of what happened to the whole world, the pandemic, the COVID-19, that took all of us by surprise and changed our narrative and the way we do things. So based on that and the need for students to first evaluate their knowledge
So your video has paused. I guess there are some technical glitches. So am I audible to you? Dr. Kennedy? So your voice is not clear. Please, could you just... Okay, I guess there was some technical glitches. So let us just move towards. Okay, thank you for all of you for your patience and enthusiasm. I would like to conclude that the conference was a great success. Many people have contributed in different ways to turn this event into a smoothly running conference with very interesting presentations. This conference has resulted in good discussions and networking. I owe my gratitude to all the presenters and patient listeners, to the coordinators and the whole staff of Eurasia Research for their constant support. I would also like to thank all the universities and institutes who have sponsored our participants and people who have directly or indirectly contributed in the smooth conduct of this conference. Our upcoming conferences are Eurasia Research conducts conferences around the world, and you can have a look at our upcoming conferences. And you can share it with your friends and colleagues. Thank you so much. And now I would like to take everybody's individual feedback on the conference. So ma'am, Lidmila, we'll start.
Okay. So I'd like to say many thanks to the organizers and coordinators of the conference. It's a great opportunity for us as researchers to feel ourselves, to listen to new ideas, to results of the researchers and the results of the research. And I also send my greetings to all the participants of the conference, and I wish everybody to be to stay fit and to go on doing our mission. It's a great opportunity to be together. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for sharing your views with us.
Thank you.
Ma'am Igniska, would you please like to share your views with us about the conference? I would also request everyone to please put your cameras on. Ma'am Igniska. Okay. Ma'am Yoshiko, please, would you like to share your views about our conference?
And thank you very much and for organizing this conference. And in this conference, so I'm terribly sorry my recording is wrong. So and I'm so sorry for trouble you and all participants. And I think that if in the future I can have the opportunity to present, and next time I will try to make more, how to say, make more special, more wonderful and presentation. I think so. Miss Fanjing and your video is very impressed. So I think I want to try to use I would like to try to new technique for creating video and presentation. So and today's for thank you very much.
Thank you,
Give me
ma'am.
the opportunity. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Dr. Kennedy, would you like to continue?
Well, first of all, I must thank you for this presentation, for this wonderful conference.
So I'm sorry to interrupt.
Really,
Sir, I'm sorry to interrupt, but still, I mean, it's inaudible to us, and it is very blurry voice, which we are getting.
okay, you're not hearing me very well. Well, not able.
I guess there are some technical glitches at your end.
I think so. Yes, 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 yes.
Okay, so
Can you hear me now? Sorry.
okay, so thank you so much.
Sorry. It's,
like to share your views about today's conference?
yes, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I said I'm so pleased to be part of this conference. So I say thank you. I look forward next time to improve on these technical issues. I'm sorry, I wasn't able to do my presentation with slides, but still, I'm sorry. I know next time I will improve. I will have better technique, just like the famous speaker just said. Have better technique to improve on my presentation. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for your, sir. Thank you so much. It's totally all right. Next time always is good to try a new video and everything. Thank you so much. Okay, Ma'am Karina and Sir Charles, would you like to share your views about today's conference?
First of all, thank you very much for organizing this conference. Pleased to be part of it, and I hope that next time we'll be able to meet in person with other participants. Our pleasure to get that.
Thank you very much for organizing this conference.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sir and Ma'am, for your views. Ma'am Fanjul, would you please like to share your views with us about the conference?
The conference went beyond my expectations. It was great to see so many wonderful research results that are more informative than mine, and I learned a lot from everyone's presentation. So thank you for giving me the chance to participate, and thank you for hosting the conference.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. Ma'am Agnieszka, would you please like to share your views about the conference? I would also request you to please put your camera on. Okay, I guess she's not there. So Ilan, would you please like to share your views on today's conference?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm having some connection problems. Can you maybe come back to me later?
Oh, okay, sir. Okay, let's try with Ma'am Agnieszka again, then we'll wind up the conference. Ma'am Agnieszka, you are available for the views? Ma'am? Okay, I guess there are some technical glitches. Oh, she's there.
Yes, I'm so sorry because I have a lot of obligation today, so I'm multitasking today. I'm so sorry. I just want to thank you for a great presentation, which was, I think, very clear and extremely interesting. I would like to congratulate you on choosing a research topic. I would like to propose for Ludmiła, I would like to propose you that if you would like to include the elements of cognitive psychology, I'm ready to cooperate with you, Ludmiła. And I would like to invite all of you to join to my research project. With the pandemic, be remembered differently depending on cultural condition. I would like to prepare the international research project, maybe with your cooperation.
It would be great. It would be great. But so can we exchange our emails? Maybe in the chat.
Yes, Ludmila, I have yours because
I remember, but I couldn't join you. Sorry, sorry, really. But I'm ready to cooperate. It would be great. It would be great.
I will write you for just minutes. Thank you.
Okay, okay, thank you also. And if you allow, I also I'm happy to see you, Agnieszka, at the conference, because it was the contact which was how to say it. We met at these conferences, and it is really great to see you again. That you are going on your research, really great. And I also wanted to add some greetings to our young participants of the conference, and they were great, really great steps for your research, and I wish you to go on everything that you are doing, and I wish only success in your and new ideas and tools for realization.
Thank you.
Many thanks.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And you can always share your email IDs in the chat box and exchange it over there.
I'll write it again if you like, if you are, if you allow it. Okay, thank you kindly. Agnieszka, I will be happy if you write to me via this email, and we will start our work and our collaboration. Thank you.
Yes, of course, I just do it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, everyone. We'll just wind up here. I hope you have a good day, and thanks again for joining us for the conference. Thank you so much.
Welcome.